Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to make a little bit different video, one that I've not done before, but I plan on doing each month. I decided to go back as far as I possibly could on eBay and do a BOLO video on things that I sold in a given month for like over $25. So I compiled a list of some of the items that I sold that just kind of showed a nice variety of things. So this video is kind of a reminder to those of you who have been watching all of my what solds, just to kind of remind you of things that you should be looking for. All of these items did sell for $25 or more. That did not include the shipping. I don't offer free shipping, so these items the buyer did pay additional for the shipping. So I have picked quite a few from eBay. I had two on Facebook, Bonanza one, Mercari one, and quite a few on Etsy. Etsy, I've only been listing my vintage toys that are higher dollar value. You know, we do pay 20 cents every time you list something. It does, it's good for 4 months. But I've just been kind of focusing on the vintage toys that are over a set amount. I think I'm down to where a lot of them are like above $15. So I don't have a whole lot listed on there. I've really been focusing on getting things cross-listed to Poshmark right now. That just seems to be my new aim as far as a secondary, hopefully more sales than some of the other platforms that I've been given. eBay will always be first. Always. I start everything on eBay, and then I do use List Perfectly to cross-list those items, different items to different platforms. But right now, I'm trying every day. I've been cross-listing to Mercari, Poshmark. A few times a week I do Etsy, Facebook. I do put some things on there. I'm not as regular because my sales have diminished to almost nothing on there. They've just, I don't know what their problem is. I'm doing all the renewals and I'm keeping up with all of the delete and relists, which thankfully they do have a good program as far as helping you do them quickly, and it doesn't take a whole bunch of your time. But my sales have just not been like they were this time last year on Facebook. All right, so I sorted these by total, but then I only focused on ones where the sold price was $25 or over. So they're not specifically in order monetarily, but I did go from around the $25 and then it's going to go up as far as the eBay sales. And I've got quite a few. Now again, this is anything, well, yes, the items that I picked are $25 or more, not including shipping, for the month of February. All right, first item, Subway toys. I won a large high bid auction last year. I believe it was in May. I bought tons of lots. I paid I think $591 total for everything, and it filled up probably 2/3 of our trailer when we went to pick it up. It was tons, thousands of toys, and I still am not done. But I did find this Walmart bag that was full of Subway toys from the 1990s, early 2000s, and I have been selling, I've sold almost all of them, I think, at this point. There's a few left. But this was the Subway Dexter's Laboratory. I had a set of 5. 3 of them were sealed, and they did sell for $26.95. I found this at the Goodwill bins in St. Louis. It is a musical Christmas tree that goes to one of the Fisher-Price Little People Christmas sets. It sold for a best offer of $25. Definitely keep your eyes open for the Christmas Little People sets, trains, and a lot of the others, because they usually release them like one time. Like this tree went to a Winter Wonderland set, and I don't believe they have released it since. So it's getting harder and harder to find. This is a Barrington Lovey. I talk about Loveys a lot. I pick all of them up. Some of them are my bread and butter, and then some of them sell for decent profit. I probably picked this up at a Ben's, so I have pennies in it, and it did sell for $26.95. Carter's, I pick up a lot of baby toys. Carter's is one of the big brands. This was from 2016, and he sold for $26.95. These were vintage mini glass Christmas ornaments. It's one of the first places I go to when I go to estate sales. I go look at the plush first, and then I go look for the Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving decorations. They're almost always put together somewhere. And then if it's very cheap, I'll try to start picking up anything vintage that just catches my attention. These were 1/2-inch balls ornaments. They were the glass ones. A lot of collectors buy these, and then they make these elaborate displays of vintage Christmas stuff. Yes, some people might buy that to put on a miniature Christmas tree, but a lot of times they're making these displays using the stuff still in their packaging. These two little packages, which I probably paid $1/4 or less for them, or they were in a lot, sold for $26.95. These were also from my high bid estate sale. It was full of tons of advertising, Plush, cups, just all kinds of stuff. A lot of it was pharmaceutical, but a lot of it, there were others that were like fast food restaurants and stuff. So I went ahead and put these 5 Arthrotech purple cows together, and they sold for best offer of $25. The only ones, now I've tried to cross-list a few of these lots that have pharmaceutical words in them to like Poshmark, and it was nixed. Nope, nope, nope. The only one that I've ever had trouble with on eBay was Zithromax. It will not let me list them. I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but I think I have several examples of other things that I've sold, and all of them have been on eBay. This was some more of the Little People Fisher Price items that I picked up in St. Louis. I bought a bunch. They were all thrown in a bin, and I just grabbed all of them. Not really, I pick up all things Little People, but I did not realize just what a bolo these were. This was the Mickey figure with a Mouseketeer and a little train, and these 3 items sold for $29.25. I have a cheat sheet right here because obviously what you're seeing on here isn't what I actually sold it for. I picked this up at an estate sale not too long ago. I think I paid $3 for her. I did not realize just how bad condition she was until I started looking her over when I was getting ready to list. Her pull string was missing. Somebody had pretty much unstitched her body and then hand sewed it back together. I showed all of this in my listing. She was supposed to have like a little car that she sat in, and I didn't have that either. I think if she had had her car, she was going to be for like over $70, but I still got $30 for her in the condition that she was. So definitely always at least check the comps on these older dolls. I pick them up quite often, and I've done really well, although I don't know a whole lot about dolls. This I picked up at an estate sale. I want to say I paid, I don't remember, maybe $3 for it. Is trying to ring a bell with me. I didn't realize at the time that I picked it up that it was Madame Alexander, but Ronald McDonald was missing his shoes. If I'd had his shoes, he would have probably sold for over $70 also, but I didn't. I didn't have the box for it either. He sold for best offer of $30 pretty quickly, like within the week that I listed it. I am including some of the shoes and clothing items that I have sold. I bought these for me and didn't like them. I did buy them at a yard sale. I'm just that type. I am a yard sale shopping person, even for myself. So I went ahead and listed these. I want to say I paid $5 maybe for it at a yard sale, and it sold for $25.46. These are Keen hiking sandals. This is a Commonwealth Bear. It was dated 2000. It was large, 24 inches. And I don't remember where I picked it up. I probably, if it was at the bins, it would have probably cost me a couple of dollars because of the size. But he did sell for best offer of $25. This is another Lovey. It's called a My Banky. They're very cute. There's two different sizes. This, I believe, is one of the smaller sizes, but they always have like the head of an animal, and then at the other end of the Lovey is the feet and bottom. There's all different types of animals. This was a white lamb named Allie, A-L-E-I-G-H, and it sold for $26.95. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle plush. It's 12-inch by Playmates, dated 2003. I think I picked up several of these at the bins. It could have been a yard sale. And this one sold for $26.95. Here's another one of the Subway lots. I must have started listing these in February because I sold quite a few of these in February. This was the Thomas lot. I had 3 that were loose, and then Lady was in the bag still, and they sold for $35.95. These are Little Tykes waffle blocks. These are the wee blocks. They're not the larger blocks. Make sure you show them with a tape measure, because sometimes a lot of people are looking for the larger ones that were like 12 inches. Robert picked these up at a yard sale for me. Don't remember how much he paid. He was on one of his trips, either to go do his martial arts belt in Connecticut, or he went out to see his mom. I sold the figures and horses that went to this set already, and I sold the blocks that made the castle for best offer of $25. Here's another one of the Fisher-Price Little People Mickey Mouse sets. This was the popcorn cart, and I included Donald Duck and one of the Mouseketeers that was wearing the Donald hat, and it sold for best offer of $35. Yo Gabba Gabba. Definitely keep your eyes out for anything Yo Gabba Gabba, Wow Wow Wubsy, Backyardigans, Rubbadubbers, which I'm going to show you one of them here shortly. But this was Plex microphone. I did have it tested. I think I did have, oh no, I don't think I was using videos at that point in my listings. He sold very quickly for, I've lost my spot. Yo, oh, here, $35.95. This too was from my online estate sale through HiBid. This was a Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Bella Knock doll. He's 22 inches. I guess he was one of the ringmasters or something. And he sold for best offer of $32. I think I found this at the Goodwill bins. Didn't know what it was. I even had a hard time with Google Lens, but finally I figured out through more research than I normally have to that this was from EverQuest The Ruins. Is that a video game? I'm guessing it's a video game. But he sold for $38, best offer. Robert picked this up at an estate sale. This is a Goosebumps Terror in the Graveyard board game. It was unused, but it was missing one piece. Most of the pieces were unpunched, but somehow it lost one of the pieces. Just listed it in my listing that it was missing, and it sold for $29.66. These were some Under Armour sweatpants. that we picked up probably at an estate sale, could have been at the Goodwill bins. So we had pennies in it, and it sold for $35.71. I probably picked this up at a consignment sale. It was a Little Journey plush blanket, was unused, still had the ribbon attached to it that kept it rolled up, and I had bought 2 of them. I think my what sold this weekend, I sold the second one. This one though sold for best offer of $32. These were some Towncraft pajamas that we picked up at an estate sale. I think I picked up a couple of them, paid a couple of dollars for them because they were new in their package, and they sold for $33.96. I've told this story a couple of times. We were at a yard sale, and there were several boxes filled with these Harlequin romance books. They were free, and I scanned a couple of them, and they were like $2 free ship, $3 free ship, and I just walked away and was looking at other stuff, and Robert came over and he said, we should get those books. And he said, did you look at the sold comps for lots? And I did, and I agreed we needed to pick them up. I offered to pay for these, but the lady was like, no, please just take them. These were all contemporary, like in the last year or two. But as we were packing up the car, she said, I have another box. Do you want them? And she gave us another large box of these. I made really large lots out of these. I did separate these into large, most of them into large lots. I kept them in the series that they were. Like this one was the Desire Red Romance series. I had others that were different colored books. So I just kept them. I did put them in order and gave a range of the numbers, but as far as writing all those numbers down, no way. This set, I've already sold several of the other ones before this. This set sold for best offer of $35, and they were free. This is a pillow that was shaped like a lamb. It was from Crown Crafts. It was 30 inches long. I had this listed for quite a while, but it finally did sell. Sometimes you just got to wait for the right buyer. It did end up selling for $26.95. This was also from the high bid auction that I picked up. This was a Jayco plush. I think Jayco is like a camper series, so it was advertising plush for them. It sold probably within the week that I listed it, and for $35.95. There weren't any on eBay, so I just kind of picked a higher price point and went with it. We picked up 2 pairs of these at an estate sale at some point. I want to say we paid like $5 for them. This was the second set, and it ended up selling for $35.95. This was a Presto percolator coffee pot. I love them. A lot of times we pick up these type of vintage small appliances and we part them out. But sometimes I'll just leave them together. I did on this one. I sold it initially, and then the lady sent me a message asking if I had the lid that was supposed to be on the inside. She hadn't paid for it or shipped it yet. And then I realized that it was actually missing that. So I canceled her order from her request, relisted it, made sure that I showed that it was missing that lid that goes inside that kind of helps the water spread out on the coffee grounds. I don't know what it's called. And it actually sold the second time for more than the first time. It did sell for $36.75. Definitely keep your eyes out for these vintage percolators. I think I've got a couple of them I need to clean and get listed. This is a DANDEE International plush rabbit, larger 26-inch. I like to buy all of these larger bunnies, even though they do take up a whole lot of space, because I can usually get, you know, at least $25 and higher. Of course, I've had a few that I've sold that were closer to the $100, but they're called the Hoppities. Definitely look up DANDEE, Hoppity, rabbits. They're a definite bolo. This one was unique that it was blue primarily, and it sold for best offer of $40. Again, another one of the Subway sets. This was the Schoolhouse Rock. There were 3 that were still sealed and 1 that was loose. There weren't any that had this many in it. So I just kind of looked at the ones that were selling, that were individuals, and came up with a price. I did end up selling it for $44.95. This is Chosun Heart to Heart Plush. I kind of did something with this one. This one actually had the red heart with it when I purchased it. I want to say I paid $2 or $3 for it at an estate sale. It wasn't in the greatest condition. As you see in my notes, it says the pajamas just seemed discolored. I did wash it, but they just kind of seemed discolored, had fuzz balls. I did have a nicer conditioned Chosun listed, so I took that heart and added it to that lot and then bumped up the price accordingly. This did sell still, though, without the heart for $40.45. Eden clowns. Always check them. Almost always they are worth quite a bit of money. This one had some wear. I do believe the music box worked. Let me scroll down here. The music box works. The string on the mouth is loose. It had some condition issues. I didn't see any like it when I listed it, so I kind of went a little bit high, and it too sold for $44.95. I love Eden. These were some, I've always called them Jinko, JNCO, baggy jeans. These were boys size 12. I bought quite a few at a yard sale. A lot of them were either boys or women's. I didn't have any that were men's size, which probably would have got premier price for. But nevertheless, I probably paid $2 or so for this, and they sold for best offer of $44. I picked these up at an estate sale. They were anchor hocking, just hadn't been used. I probably paid $2 or $3 for them, because I think when I scanned, I had seen smaller glasses that sold for like $20 or $25. There weren't any like this, so I just kind of bumped my price up a little bit. Took a little while to sell, but I ended up selling them for $30. Best offer. Robert picked this up, I believe, at an estate sale just a couple of months ago. It had this 8-track tape in it. I was a little leery. I just said no idea if the 8-track works, being sold, as is. Although I do offer returns on everything. I figured somebody who was buying this probably was buying it to display. I probably paid $1 or $2 for it, and it sold for $44.95. And it had some condition issues. The box was kind of smooched. You can see stains here. But it was quite a few of the pieces. I think it was a more complete set than most of the others, except there may have been a few that were new in the box. Gunned plush. Not all gun sells high dollar, but this is one of the ones that you should be looking for. This is Peanut. He's from 1985, and he sold for best offer of $50. I'm pretty sure I picked him up in the St. Louis Goodwill bins, so pennies in him. Robert picked this up at an estate, so we were actually walking out empty-handed, and there was a coffee table with a few books on it. They were 50 cents each. Robert scanned it, and he said there was 2 listed, $59.95, 2 sold that were like $50 to $60. Ours did have the dust jacket, which most of them did not. I listed it and sold it within minutes for $59.95. So these old technical books, definitely keep your eyes out for them. These, again, were from my hybrid estate sale. I bought a whole bunch of these hush puppies, and on their tags it will tell you what series they are and what number they are in the series. So I realized that I had a complete set here. Not all of them had their paper tags, so I went ahead and listed them for $59.95. I ended up taking a best offer of $50 for them. Robert and I went to our local town has a 23-mile yard sale a couple of times, I think twice a year. We stopped. I didn't even want to get out of the car because it just looked like it was flea marketers, basically. I did venture around a little bit. I picked this up for $2, and it was Sears Looney Tunes curtain. There were 2 panels from 1980, and they sold for best offer of $50. I had them listed for a while, so I was ready to get them moved. This too came from the hybrid estate sale where I've mentioned several times there was a whole lot of pharmaceutical stuff. I decided I had several of these Plush from Protonics. I did have these 2 mugs. There were several listed that were each, but I don't remember at that time if there were any that was both of them together. So I decided to put them together, list them high, and they sold for $62.95. Definitely when you're at estate sales and yard sales, if you see advertising coffee cups, check them out. I've sold some for over $100. I bought these items at a consignment sale that I went to last year. I want to say I paid $10 for them. But I knew based on Merrymakers that it was character plush from a book. And had them listed kind of high, so it took a little while to sell. I sold them at best offer for $55. We picked this up, I think, at an estate sale. I think we paid either $5 or $10 for it. Robert usually is the one that's going in there looking for clothes. But I think I remember him saying it was $5. Even at 10 though, it's great. Listed it. It appeared unused because it still had its stick tags and everything on it. I'm not the type that's going to list things new. I don't want somebody getting it and it have one little scuff on it and they say it's not new. So I'll say pre-owned but looks unused. We ended up taking a best offer on this jacket for $60. This was in my Goodwill blue box. I did a collaboration with the Hustle couple, and a lot of the Goodwill blue boxes, and it proved me right with this one, they put like one huge plush in it and then a lot of littles. I've had really good luck with them, so if you're getting to a point where maybe you want to just try it out, definitely go Google Goodwill blue box. Sometimes they have a middle of the week message they'll send out. Get on their mailing list, and they'll have these boxes available, but almost always on Fridays at 6 o'clock they release new boxes, and they're sold just like that. They're very popular. But I had bought 2 to open up as a collaboration with the Hustle couple, and this was my big sale for that. I paid, I think you pay like $60 with shipping. I could be wrong, for the 2 boxes, and this one plush sold for $80.96. I actually had 2 of these. I had a pink one, I think, that sold on Mercari, and then this one in the past. This one sold on eBay. It's by North American Bear Company. It is a musical plush that you pull and it makes music. It's called a Sleepyhead Bunny. I think blue might be the harder one to find. I sold it for $89.96. I think I picked it up at an estate sale or a yard sale for a couple of dollars at the most. This I picked up at the Habitat Restore. I paid $2 for it. I knew Rub-a-Dubbers is one of those brand TV series that you need to watch for their plush. There weren't very many characters. This is one of the side characters also, which sometimes they are worth a whole lot more than the the main characters. But I was surprised when I got home. I couldn't find anything on it. So I decided to go high, and I took a best offer of $100, and it sold within a day or two of listing it. So definitely Rub-a-Dubbers, Backyardigans, Yo Gabba Gabba, Wow Wow Wubsy. Those are definitely ones you need to be on the lookout for. These. During the fourth quarter, Facebook was offering free shipping on a lot of time. It would come and go, but when it was offering free shipping, I went sourcing. I went looking through Plush listings to see if I could find anything. I found these two monkey plush. They were mislabeled as Curious George. They do look like Curious George, but they're not. These are what we call knee huggers. I've never gotten two of them at the same time. I have found them on several occasions. These did have some condition issues. I just note it, take pictures of it, and it took a couple of months. Well, yeah, I got them in December. I sold them in February for $116.96. I want to say I paid maybe $15 or $19 for them with free shipping. So definitely, they're long, and technically you should be able to pull their knees up and then wrap their arms around them. And that's why they're called knee huggers. You can also get them in Christmas ornaments. They're usually shaped like an elf. Definitely check the comps on them if you find them also. I always pick them up when I see them. Now this kind of is my big sell. Yes, the picture is awful because, you know that saying, all good deeds go unpunished, or, you know, I've got that wrong. Robert will put the correct one on there. Goes, I don't know. Well, anyway, I had an international buyer buy 3 or 4 lots on global shipping. And I thought I was being nice. I sent him a message saying, I can, you know, if you want, I can cancel these orders. I'll make you a single lot. At that point, I wasn't doing international shipping again yet. I was still only using global shipping. I can make a new lot, and, you know, you can repurchase it, and that way you're saving on shipping. And he was fine with that. So I did. I made a new listing for him. I just took pictures of it in the bags, but I did include the original pictures, or some of them, for the items that he was purchasing. He didn't buy it. After a few days, I canceled it. A couple of weeks later, he sends me a message, what about my listings? I'm like, well, you didn't purchase it. He said, you didn't send me messages. Well, a whole lot of miscommunication went on and on and on. I wanted to back out. I really did. But eventually we got it straight. I kept sending him the listings. He didn't purchase. Then I would end the listings. Because, you know, it's this. That's not my typical pictures. Finally, and he was not nice to me, we got it ironed out. He did purchase it again through the global shipping. I've not heard from him. I really expected to have issues with him once he received it, but I haven't. But he bought all of these. The large lot, which was this one, it was, and again, these were all from, almost all of this was from my online estate sale. This was almost a complete set of the Tycho Sesame Street beans. I think I initially sold this to him for best offer of $140 or $150, and then he asked me to put a couple of other things with it. But it became a very negative experience for me. But I'm glad it did sell finally, and I did get $170. Plus he paid all of the other additional shipping through the global shipping program. So, all right, these next few are some of the over $25 items that I sold on other platforms. We bought a bunch of brass at 2 different sales earlier last summer, and I listed tons, and I have sold tons, but I haven't listed all of it. There's still a tote over here. But this is just some of the examples for February. I sold these 2 brass candlestick candle holders for $37. and I sold these Fisher-Price Blaze and the Monster Machine Sphinx die-cast vehicle, little vehicle. It sold for $26. All right, this was a Bonanza sale. This was Little Miracles Sheep Plush Lamb. I believe it was supposed to have like a blanket or something with it. The comps were really high if you had both of them. I only had the pillow part of this. It sold for $29.95 on Bonanza. This is a Mercari sale. It was a tan hound dog, 20 inches long. I don't believe it had a tag, so I did not know the brand. But a lot of times these larger dog plush sell well for me. This one sold for $26 on Mercari. And then I have 5 that sold on Etsy in February. I didn't want to sell this, but I went ahead and listed it. I think I picked these up at the Goodwill bins in St. Louis. This was Fisher-Price Puffalumps. These were the two of the Christmas mice set from the 1980s. They sold for $37.95. This was from my online estate sale. Again, this was a Reese's Bear by Mars. They were from 1987. It sold for $29.95. This was a nice sale. I think Courtney from Bolo Buddies featured this recently for me in one of her videos. This was a rubber-faced doll from Well Made Toys. Very large, 22 inches, from 1994. It sold for $71.95. This is a Dakin Droopy Dog plush. I had never seen one of these before. I buy a lot of Dakin. This was from 1977, but it was a mommy and a puppy. I had not seen that. At the same sale I bought, I think a cheetah or something that also had a baby. This sold for $26.95. And last but not least, these are some California raisins. I bought a bunch, several hundred California raisins from a friend. I think she charged me $20 for one of these totes that was this big. These are the larger ones. These aren't the ones that came like in Hardee's. These were the 2.5-inch size. There were a few of them, so I pulled them out, sold them separately. They sold on Etsy for $29.95. I've been putting most of the raisins in my booth. I still have quite a few, and I put like $1.25 on them, and they sell every time that I take them over there. But I try not to take a whole bunch over there at once. All right, this was a long one, but I think this is a good way for people to remember, refamiliarize yourself with some of the things that I have sold, especially the plush that have done quite well. I think anything over $25 is, you know, great when you've only got a couple of dollars at the most in them. So thank you for watching my video. I do plan on trying to put these types of videos out every month, just as a compilation of all the good sales that I had for that month. So if you are new to my channel or you've been watching it and you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe, like, comment. There's a bell you can click on that will tell you anytime I have new content coming out. I try to do at least 3, if not more, new videos each week. So it's a lot of work for us, but I am definitely enjoying this. All right, bye.